OUD represents real market opinions, and it drills down like no one else can. There's no BS, and there's no wasted tire kicking. So let's get started. It's time to drive.
Now let me guess. The man of the house needs a second car so the little lady can go to the garden club while he plays gin rummy with the boys, huh?
Oh, actually, we need a car so we can go rock climbing.
Rock climbing? Why would anybody go climb a rock?
We have to think about it.
Yeah, what's there to think about? I mean, you told me you liked it. You asked me 10,000 questions. I answered every single one of them. You drove it. You love it. What more do you need to know?
We gotta sell 400 cars. How am I gonna sell 400 cars?
Make them drive the car. Make them touch it, feel it, smell it. Get them excited. When they're excited, they pay more.
You're thinking, can I afford to buy a car like this? Huh? Am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you.
Welcome to OUD with your host, Flockball. If you want a 997 GT2 RS, you have a choice of colors, 4 colors to be exact. And the P9 Registry search app will tell you that those were black, Carrara white, GT silver metallic, and Guards red. And this one, VID 423491, is in the least common color, with 31 of 142 built for North America in Guards red. Now, these never got as expensive as the RS 4.0, but they did climb to pretty high levels during the peak period 2015-2016. But never this high, asking $749,000. What? This must be a typo. I mean, average market price for these is still probably too high to clear the market for some time at $449K. But $749K is a whole nother level. Okay, so what gives here with this one? Well, what gives is Pike Peak and Jeff Schwartz. You see, this is the car that Schwartz used in 2011 to break the Pikes Peak record for the fastest street legal production car to ever race at Pikes Peak. It was also the same car used by the Timo Kluk, Porsche factory test driver, drove at the Nürburgring to a faster lap time than the Carrera GT. Okay, that is fast. Now, we can't get much use out of analytical tools for something like this exactly. But normally we can say this is a 325K car, as it has 10,338 miles, which is a lot for these ones. And trust me, this one is not dressed up for comfort cruising, with OMP buckets and a full roll cage. But even with its history, which is interesting, but not monumental, and putting things in perspective, this one is higher than Pikes Peak. It's over! I don't recall Lizard Green being so bright, but it's bright. You couldn't miss this one on the road, that is for sure. This VID 425356 is a 2019 991.2 GT3 RS Base in bright Lizard Green, which turns out is not so rare. 189 built for North America in this color, and 169 of those were in this color combo with leather Alcantara interior, black, and Lizard Green. Now, MSRP on this one is $219K, that's over the market average of $212K. But that's not its claim to fame. That claim would be 14 miles on the ODO when the market average is 6,179 miles. That's snake belly low. Makes you wonder if it was ever driven at the factory before release. Now, the price is $219,900, so it's like buying a new car at sticker. But we know that these cars have dropped around 5% from sticker at this time, but that includes mileage depreciation. No need for an auto check, but if you did that, the only thing you're going to find is a voluntary recall for a driver's manual supplement. So what would you say about the value of a car like this one if it was actually used? Well, first, it has a fire extinguisher option, in case you should drive your 14-mile car into something you probably shouldn't. But then who would do that? And it's not a Weissach, so its collectability is questionable. Base models like this one were about 36% of the North America build. So unlike the 991.2 GT2 RS, where the base is only around 5% of the build, it's not that uncommon. Look, Mileage adjusted, this should be a car selling for many, many more thousands than it's asking. Yet it's been on the market for quite a few months, and its collectability, the reason to preserve low miles, is in question. But it's hard to say how many of these in as new condition are laying around. Maybe not so many. So we'd say this one is under. You can find the cars being discussed on this podcast on our Instagram at overunderdrive and on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to both. And if you subscribe to P9 Premium, you get full access to all the data used by overunderdrive to analyze specific cars on this podcast and their market comps. So there was a time when speed yellow was one of the more popular colors in the Porsche palette. In fact, the color was often used to promote rare production models like the 1992 Turbo S Coupe. But it seems the color is generally not so much in demand anymore. It's now green and orange and violet in colors that seem more, Lambo than Porsche, but what do I know? So the Vid416844 is one of only 23 991.2 Turbo S Coupes built for North American racing yellow. Out of 3,193 units total, I guess its rarity is not unexpected, but it still seems kind of strange. Lightly optioned at $202K, the price is $179K in a market that is around $166K. And that is probably more about miles than anything else. It only has 2,869 miles in a market averaging 13,777 miles. And I say that because yellow just does not seem to be so in demand these days, or more would have been ordered that way. After all, this is only 2019, so not much has changed since then, color-wise. Popping it into the valuation machine places the car at $173K on a mileage-adjusted MSRP basis, and $175K on a mileage-adjusted market differential basis, so not super far off from the ask. And looking at the Spyder market history data using P9 Premium service, this is probably what the seller figured out as well. You see, this car was with another seller back in September 2020 with 2,712 miles and a price of $168K. So a few more miles and a jacked up price. This is another value of the P9 Premium service. You get to see something about where this car has been and for how much, where it's been marketed. This allows you to see and track something about what's going on here. It's like having a full universe of classified ad armchair fanboys rambling on chat threads, but all at your fingertips. Okay, so what do we think? It's in an uncommon but currently unpopular color, for some reason yellow. It's low mileage, but it's priced over valuation estimates. And it seems like it didn't sell at $168K very recently, except to the next dealer who marked it up. That makes it over. If your plan was to create a super low MSRP 2018 991.2 GT3 Touring, Vid406794 is it. Specifically, an agri-grade metallic touring package in black with leather interior black, cloth seat setters. Now, nothing wrong with this approach, and it's a great looking car, but the MSRP at $155K is far below the average touring package in black market MSRP, which is $180K. For a little more perspective, the build MSRP average, 534 units were built touring package in black for North America, was $172K. So this car was designed to look and act something like a 911R. Notwithstanding that it has adaptive sports seats plus, so not a purist, but it's a manual, of course, so there is that. Now, one would think this is a rarity, but 26 units were built for North America with this car's exterior-interior combo. Its only real meaningful options are wheels painted satin aluminum and FAL. Miles are 2K. The market is not too far off at 2.6K. 2 owners per the Experian Auto Check. One thing that was kind of odd was pics of some within-spec paint metering of the doors in the seller ad. Not sure what that was supposed to mean exactly, but we won't read too much into that. So what does one ask for this low MSRP example? The seller thinks $190K. Whoa, that's some markup. But then when you check the market, that's not as far off as you might think. The average market markup on these is $27K over MSRP. That would put this one in at $182K. Before we dig into the valuation details, though, we may be looking at a car that is over because they're all over. I mean, there was quite a few touring built for North America alone, but 749 units, black package and silver package combined. That's not exactly rare. The average market price for this Model Plus body is $207K. This one is about 8% less than that. But the MSRP delta to the market is 14% on this one. That makes it overpriced. So what about the valuation? And in this case, we get two different takes on that. On an MSRP basis, it's overpriced, and it should roll in around 180K mileage adjusted, not 189K. But on a market differential basis, which is more focused on the market premiums and discounts, it rolls in around 194K mileage adjusted, making it underpriced. So, what's the truth? Well, I say the truth is that the market for the 991.2 GT3 Touring package in black is overpriced, which makes this one over. P9 Registry Free Basic members get access to the ad links for the cars discussed today. Please go to P9 Registry and sign up for free membership. And if you are in the market or are thinking about it, subscribe to P9 Premium. You will not regret the mistakes you won't make and the time you won't waste. Ah, the 918 Spyder. Now that's an old school electro hybrid plug-in. What with the Taycan and all that new stuff, though, pretty soon a Porsche electric scooter will pull more G's than a 918 and be faster around the ring, too. Now, it's a beast, okay, and it falls in with other electro hybrids of the time. The Mercedes GL550E and the BMW 740e iPerformance. No, I'm just kidding. The McLaren P1 and Ferrari LaFerrari are what comes to mind, although I don't think you could plug in that last one. Anyway, where are these cars these days? Viv 428739 is a base in meteor gray metallic with leather interior, garnet red, and the silver piping. Only two were built for North America in this combo. That's nice. Priced at $992K in a market averaging 1.27 million. That seems good. Miles at 7.5K and a market averaging 4.9K might be the difference. Not sure. MSRP of $898K in a market averaging $890K. Surely that's not it. One owner, no accidents. Couldn't be it. The average of the mileage adjusted estimates would bring this one in at 1.22 million. This is underpriced by around 22%. Can't see the problem unless somebody just wants out of the car. And that makes this one, get it while you can, it's under. Well, that's all, folks. Overunderdrive is done for this week. Check in next week for a fresh batch of OUD where we keep everyone honest with real market fresh takes. Find out what models we are thinking about and the cars that caught our eye on every new OUD podcast. Subscribe where you get them. And be sure to tell them you heard it on OUD. We're out.
This isn't some high-tech sports car. Tell you the truth, it doesn't even handle that great.